It's really about how you feel about yourself inside creates the external reality. And we use the metaphor of the corporate. Yeah, if it's an old belief system and old patterns, but you are, I almost want to say, gently moving away from those old patterns, super being challenged, and you're doing such a great job. Family, friend. Yeah. You are so being challenged, and you are really using your internal GPS to find your way, which at the end of the day, it's about the journey. Sometimes I want to punch the air so hard when people say that to me, and I'm like, really? But being on the other side so many times, it's so beautiful to watch you go through this. I hate it. She's punching the air. I'm punching air too. And I think that I like that you're saying that it's not necessarily just the corporate, like I'm boxing it all into saying corporate, and it is more of the old beliefs. And I can still remember, was it college? I want to say college time-ish era, which was only a couple years ago, just so you know, which you can tell by how young we all look. But I remember somebody telling me that, like, oh, well, after school, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. And it didn't feel right at that time. And I had shared, I'm like, I don't want to follow that book. Like, that's not the chapter I want to be in. And they looked at me kind of funny because they talked about the chapter book, and that it wasn't the chapter book that I wanted to do. I wanted to do, God, I hated. Do you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books? I hated the Your Own. I hated those books so. I hated them. I hated it so much. I don't know why. Why? Because that's totally. Well, but I think it's because I liked having, as a younger person, in chaos and in, like, right? So in childhood and having the turmoil in childhood, I needed the structure. I needed the next chapter to be very clear, and to be able to choose my own adventure. That sounded like it was annoying. I hated it. So anyway, but I did want to choose my own adventure come college, but I still felt like I was, by nobody forcing me other than society, really, that I needed to find this job, that I needed to find the boyfriend, that I needed to get married, that I needed to have the kids, and with the fence, with the dogs, with the kids, with the house, and da 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 da. And it didn't work out that way. It never does. Ish. Mostly. And that was okay. That's okay. But that's the box that, like, I do throw all of that into the corporate America box, I think, where it's not necessarily just the work. Yeah. And going outside of the box now feels, even though I've always been an outside of the box person, so any of you that do remember me from back in the day and have been friends with me for a long time, you all know that I'm not an in the box kind of person, but I do like structure. I do like, and I'm learning to be a little bit more, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow, and I'm going to trust in, because it feels better and it feels right. And I'm going to allow universe, God, all, whoever you want to, like, trust in, whoever it is, I'm just letting it be. And I'm putting my seeds. So I've done, and it's weird because I think that is part of my magical forest that I've been planting this summer. So taking the summer and spring and really, for real, sitting in the garden, in the dirt, hands, feet, dirt, grounding, but also planting seeds, planting plants. It's been really kind of like, okay, I've been putting all of this stuff in the ground, and now it's like starting, oh, there's some little sprouts starting. And I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this part. I'm interested in this part. Look at this plant starting to come up. And I think it's kind of fun to see, like, what's what's coming up first. And some of those plants might not come up, and that's okay too. Like, it was fun to try, and we'll see if they do, and maybe they don't for another couple of years. Because I think that happens as well with planting seeds.